can't
No,
think
and
that
I be
fast.
running out. Yeah, Bree gets on to me all the time because she's like, how the hell are you doing all of this at the same time?
And it's not only that, but like they're thinking about one thing at 100 miles an hour. I feel like we're thinking about things at 50 miles an hour, but I'm thinking about like 5 different things that none of them make sense together. So in my mind, no, I can't like properly coordinate my mind.
Yeah, it just seems to like overwhelm and then paralyze.
Yes, it's just like,
I
it's
get
like
overwhelmed by the idea of it, and then I'm just unable to take any steps forward on any of the things.
Absolutely.
And I am like 100% focused on one thing.
I can't do that.
And like really excited about that one thing and like really overjoyed about that one thing, even if that one thing is like seemingly like non-important, even if it's like a book or like a fucking like anything. It could be anything. It could just be just like the smallest little tiny molecule
fixate
of a
on
thing,
little things,
and then
on
it's just
anything.
boom, instead of like macro
Yeah.
30,000 foot view. It becomes like a super hyper focus, and then I just stay there.
So actually, I was just a little bit of therapy talk. I had my therapist tell me that you should focus on like mindfulness in those moments, because like there's a saying that like depression comes from thinking about the past, and then anxiety comes from thinking about the future.
Facts.
Fuck then.
So like, you have to instead
Me
of like
having us having
the
both,
past,
it's like,
overthinking
ooh.
the future, like those are gonna cause. So instead, like trying to focus on mindfulness and just being like in the present and trying to focus on the task at hand and what it is you're doing in the moment can help you to like get through that. Instead of like I'm thinking about my training, and for the training, like if I'm thinking about the past and all the past like bad training sessions that I have, it's gonna bring in that like heaviness of like, oh, this is rough. Or thinking about the future of like,
Can I do this?
Am I gonna get through my training today? Then there's that anxiety of what's gonna happen when I get to my training today.
That's so true.
Yeah, I tend to think about my past negatively, but I tend to think about my future positively. But I know that that's not the case for everybody. Like some people think about the future and they think negatively because they're like, I have like seemingly very little control of it.
You see, that's
and,
mom.
And that's where I'm very different. I feel like I have 100% control of my future. So like if I'm here right now and in the future, I want to be somewhere else. Like for me, it's just like, all right, I know where I'm ending. So like, let's figure out like whatever steps I need to take in order to like get there. But I can physically take the steps in some way, shape or form, no matter how small. The reason why the past is sadder for me or more negative for me is because of the fact that I can't change it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And more importantly, it probably involves a lot of other people. So then like I also often wonder about intentions or the time, the like mental state of the time, and like, you know, all these things. And because I can't like either physically reproduce it, and I just have to like account for my recollection of it, it becomes it can become a very paralyzing thing.
It can,
But not like
I don't know if I see the past I think I see both on both sides. So I tend to see both the negative and the positive.
You're a centrist all the way through.
I'm pretty much, like because right now, for instance, going through the random stuff that I went through this week, all I could think of was like, yo, I can't wait till I'm 30. And I'm
about to be 30.
I know. And I told Alex this, and he's like, why the hell do you want to be 30? I don't want to be 30. I don't want to grow up, because he's about to turn 22. And I'm like, nah, hell no. I want to be 30. Like, I can't wait till because I know I'm going to get there. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to get to a really, really, really good place at 30. And the reason I know that is because I know I'm going to do it. Like, I know what I'm going to be doing. I know my mental state is in the right path to creating a better life for myself and my daughter. And so to me, when I think 30, I think I'm going to have a real nice house. I'm going to have a real nice, stable income, wherever that's coming from. I'm going to have a really nice, comfortable life, and I'm going to be doing what I need to do. And, yo, I'm going to be 30. My baby going to be 11. So you know what that means? My baby going to be old enough to do what she got to do, and me will be old enough and young enough to do whatever the hell I want to do.
Yeah, the notion that, like, your life ends at 30, we need to get rid of that shit.
We need to get rid of that. Because I think my
not
life...
just because I'm about to turn 30, but because, like...
So I've seen people talk about how the 30s are, like, the best times of their life because they're no longer in that weird state of 20s where you don't know
People
what the hell
do
you're
talk
doing.
about that a lot.
And then you're not at a stage
I've heard
of
people
40s
even
yet.
say 40s. I've heard people even
So
say
I've
like
heard
people
that
in their
too.
40s have a much better life than they had whenever they were in their 20s
I mean,
or 30s.
I feel like it's all about how you decide to
Take on the
keep
world.
changing your life. So if you keep looking at 30 as the end of the road for you, as something that you're not really looking forward to, then of course you're going to have a really shitty time at
I've
30.
always been looking forward. Like you, even when I was in high school, I was
can't
like,
wait
yo, I
to
can't
that.
wait till I'm got the fuck out of here and like doing some shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would always think that like if I was 15, I was like, I can't wait to be 20. I know it's going to be better when I'm 20. And it was better when I was 20. Like, I'm not going to lie and pretend like it wasn't. It was better when I was 20. Now, I'm 23 going on 24, and I can't wait till I'm 30 because I know it's going to be a lot better then too.
Yeah.
Because
See,
I am so 100%
Me and
ready
you were
for
the
it.
same age, Marcella, and I'm excited about the idea of like growing up and like the goals that I want to reach and all. And at the idea of like 30, that still feels far enough away for me to be excited about it. But I can already feel like a quarter life crisis coming on as I get closer to 25, which sounds so riridicous. But I keep thinking
you're
about
younger than me.
I think about insurance, my health insurance, and not being able to be on my parents' health insurance anymore. I think about the fact that when I was younger, I thought like, 25-year-olds have it together. And now I'm looking at myself and I'm like, I do not have it together. And I'm about to be a year away from being 25.
Yeah.
That's
and
another thing we got to get rid of. Nobody has it together.
Nobody has it together,
Nobody.
ever. Not
Absolutely
even- not
nobody.
even our
Not
50-year-old
25-year-olds, not
parents, bro.
30-year-olds, not 50-year-olds, not 60-year-olds.
Absolutely.
70-plus-year-olds are wondering how they got through life with having nothing together. That's what they're doing.
Absolutely. And
You know
they're
what I
trying
mean?
to
Like
figure out how they go-
nobody in
and
their
they're-
life. If you're out there, if you're about to get some advice from from these degenerates talking right now, you need to understand that nobody in the fucking world understands what to do, and nobody has anything together whatsoever. Even if they seem like they do, don't be fooled by the Instagram filters, y'all. Like nobody
Absolutely.
has anything figured out at all.
Absolutely.
So do what you want to do all the time.
And I mean, going back to the fact that you said that we're the same age, like honestly though, I think a lot of the reason why I'm thinking this way is simply because, and this is going to sound maybe a bit weird, maybe a bit off, maybe a bit wrong, but it's the sense that I've ticked off some of the things that a lot of people want to tick off at 30 years old at such a young age, that it doesn't necessarily bother me knowing that I will be 30 years old and I would not have accomplished that. For instance, for instance, I mean, I'm single, right? But the idea of me ever having to find a partner from now to the year of 30 doesn't bother me so much because I already have a kid. So to me, the idea that I already have my partner for however long I'm going to be, granted to have her. So let's say 18 years old. I'm only going to be 37 years old by that time. So I don't have to worry about, man, I'm going to be 30. How am I going to be 48 and have an 18-year-old? So like maybe that's why for me, that comfort of being like, I'm going to be 30, my kid's going to be older, we're going to be at a much different spot. You're probably like, well, I don't have that yet. So what am I going to do? You know what I mean? So it might be a different, like just a different thought process because of it.
Here's how I feel about that. In relation to partners and like romances and things like that, all of those things are always 100% every time, no matter who you are, no matter where you are in the world, are all emotion based.
Yeah.
That is purely emotion, and there's no age limit on emotions.
Yeah, that's true.
There just isn't. Yeah. So whether you're 50, whether you're 60, 75, 82, 97, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to feel emotions.
And
So
you know what? Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you can make yourself a mental ceiling and say like, oh, by 30 I want this, or by 35 I want this. And for you guys, it may be a tiny bit different because you do have a biological time clock, right? In terms of like
For women having
in
kids,
terms of
yeah,
like
I'm sure, yeah.
you wanting to have children, things like that, which I can't speak to. I can't relate to that at
Yeah.
all. But in terms of like feeling love or being loved,
There's
or
no
having a
limit to that.
partner, or having like this, like you are all you because it's emotion based, you have the option of experiencing love at 65 just as powerfully and just as intensely as a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
It may come about differently, but it's still an option. It's
Yeah.
still you can still get there emotionally. It just
Absolutely.
looks a lot different than what it would
Yeah.
look like as a 22-year-old that just wants
Oh,
to
yeah.
party, as opposed to like a 55-year-old that really like values like having
Yeah.
dinner
Yeah,
and just like being in the presence of somebody that really cares about them or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Like like the mode in which you deliver that that the potency is different, but the potency can still be
still
just
there.
the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
there's actually a great series on Amazon. It's called oh, damn, what was it called?
Modern Love.
Modern Love. It's called
Yeah.
Modern Love,
Yeah.
and like they're like these little vignettes of like love stories
Yeah.
that all happen around New York, and
Ooh.
at least the first season is in New
Okay.
York, but like. It's just all these little vignettes, these little like 30,
Yeah.
40 minute stories of like these love stories that are happening, and they're all non-traditional love stories. They're all like they're not like your like typical girl meets boy, boy meets
Yeah.
girl, fall in love, have some babies, and it just like it has like a streaming like
Yeah.
a streamline towards like the
Your
way that
happy
love is
ending or
supposed to
whatever,
be.
yeah.
Yeah, happy ending. They're all a little more convoluted. They're a little bit more complicated. Some of them are you know,
Yeah.
they deal with nuances about personalities and nuances about desires and nuances about like age and time and like all these things. But there's a really cute one in there that is incredibly wholesome about these older people
Yeah.
that like already went through life, already have kids, their kids have kids, and like they're in like their 70s, right? They're like in their 70s. It's fucking adorable. And it's just this lady and this like this white lady and this Asian man that like all
Aw.
kind of like find each other, and they just have this like they just take care of each other, and it's just fucking lovely and
Aw,
wholesome.
so
And it's fucking ridiculous. It's like one of those things where you just want to shoot yourself because it's so fucking cute.
Aw.
But highly recommend that. But it's like one of those. It goes to what I'm saying, that like things like that.
Yeah.
We should definitely do away with those ideas and those
definitely
concepts
agree
and
with
things
you
like
on that
because things like
it
that
sucks.
are limitless, and they are ageless, and they really are forever.
Yeah,
in
they
terms
are.
of like
They are.
you know
And I think
your
though,
life.